Hey guys, so the exam is finally up, the last pen and paper exam, and so the exam was quite tough, the physical portion especially, right? And do let me know your opinions about the exam as well. So unfortunately, like I said in my previous videos as well, I was injured. So making the answer key is going to be very difficult for me, as it is with lot of difficulty only I gave the exam, and I couldn't attempt the whole exam myself. So I was not able to solve all the questions, and so maybe the answer key might be delayed from my side, or even I might not be able to make it, right? Because the injuries got aggravated, especially my leg injuries. So anyway, yeah, the cutoff I think will range from 100 to 105. It was like the last year June exam. The physical portion was very new, and new. It was not tough. It was new, like I said, okay, because there were no questions from kinetics. There were no straightforward questions from kinetics. Electrochemistry questions were not straightforward, okay, and then there are the questions from even spectroscopy, especially your physical spectroscopy were not direct at all, okay. They were very different and new, okay. So yeah, physical portion you can say was very different, because of which I don't think, like last year I predicted the cutoff to go to 105 and it went to 96 in June, right? So that's why this time I'm predicting it to be low only, okay. Though the organic portion was quite easy, it could be because I'm from organic specialization, so I found it easy, but it was actually very direct. Like there were questions, very basic questions, like from Gilman reagent, and then we had cutoff I told 100 to 105 for JRF for general category, okay. And then there were question from like there was a one direct question from Bailey-Hillman reaction, and the rest of the questions were also quite easy, okay. The NMR questions were a little different this time, right? It was different, I won't say tough. Like the question from styrene, okay, over there was a lot of confusion. Some students could not even understand the question. Like when I came out of the exam, a lot of students were quite curious as to what the answer was for the NMR questions, okay. So the NMR questions were also not that simple to crack this time, okay. And what else? So yeah, the general questions which everybody sorts for in the exam, that they would be there, they weren't there, okay. Even though the inorganic part I would say was easy, like I said, there was a Mulliken symbols you definitely have to do, and this time there was a question from Mulliken symbols, okay. Pattern, inorganic pattern was changed, but the organometallics questions this time were quite easy that way, okay. And yeah, the questions, you are right, the questions were quite confusing, especially the options. The questions were not clear, okay. So the LS cutoff will be 10 marks less, okay, than the JRF cutoff. So if I'm saying 100 to 105 for general category JRF, so LS would be 90 to 95 for general category, okay. So this is what I feel. And yeah, options were very close, and if I look at the question paper, I have it right here with me. So the aptitude section was also not that simple, okay. It did take some time to solve, okay. And it was not, even the aptitude section was not that easy at this time. That's what I felt, okay. And the section 2 was also quite confusing. Section B as well, right, the inorganic portion. So yeah, the pattern was completely changed. There were questions, like there were some questions, some relatable questions like term symbols. The electronic transition was there, and then there was a question from benzene mechanism, so that was also one easy question. Then as I can see in the physical portion, there was a question on homo lumo of benzene, so the degeneracy of the homo and lumo, so that was also easy. Then the number of NMR signals, again this two marker was tricky, okay. It was not that simple. You had to see whether the protons were distereotopic or not, and to find out whether the protons are distereotopic or not, you have to find whether it's R configuration or S configuration, okay. Then we had what else is there? um, yeah, so if I talk about the part C, bioinorganic question was easy. I felt the cytochrome P450, okay. um, there might be some terminologies that might be difficult, but rest it was easy, okay. Then if I see the four markers, one was from this non-ionic solvents, okay. So this was pretty simple. I predicted one four marker from non-ionic solvents, okay. Then I mean, yeah, it was tricky, this one, especially the reaction which will not produce ethane as a product. So this was a little tricky. Then the donor mode of NO ligand, this was based on the 18 electron rule and 16 electron complexes, like iridium forms 16 electron complexes, and linear NO forms 3 electrons, and bent NO gives 1 electron. The the electron contribution. Then this was a question from your Oracle diagrams. Consider the following statements regarding electronic spectra of high spin complexes, titanium 3 plus. Okay. Then even the Vesper theory question was quite tricky. Okay, I will try Tomer to put the solutions, but I am not sure. Okay, like I said, my right hand is injured, so I can barely write anything as such. Okay, it's very difficult for me to even hold the phone in my hand, so I don't know if I'll be able to upload it also or not. Okay, there might be other channels which might upload it, so maybe you could watch it from there. I think it will be difficult for me to upload it. Okay. Then organic was easy. See, there was a question from Gilman reagent followed by your Simmons-Smith reaction, so that was quite easy. Even this one, addition of amine and formaldehyde in presence of acid followed by methyl iodide NaOH sodium cyanide. Very basic question. Okay. Then we had a question for pericyclic. Okay, and that was also easy, right? Uh, and what else? So there were two tricky NMR questions, and then there was a question based on DMF POCl3 Wilsmer-Huck reaction. Okay, and Wilsmer-Huck was there. Then Heck reaction was there. Okay, and so there were quite a few name reactions, and the organic part in general was quite easy. Okay, I'll try and upload the answer key as soon as possible. And in quantum, as you can see, the questions were a little different, but one was from hydrogen atom. Okay, I have a video on that. So if you want to look at the answer, you can type the hydrogen atom wave function. How from the wave function you can predict the value of N, L, and M. Okay, and Huckel was also there was a question from Huckel, and there was a question from MOT VBT in quantum. Obviously, the questions from commutator, Hermitian operators, eigenfunctions, eigenvalues was not there. So that was quite surprising. So that's why I feel the question paper was not that easy, and the cutoffs might even go lower than this. I am predicting 100 to 105, but the cutoff just might go lower than this because many students do not prepare organic. Okay, they do not prepare organic at all. So I feel it can go even lower than 100 and 105. Okay, that's what I predict. Okay, so don't worry. The exam was tough. It was the last offline exam. So let's hope the new pattern is favorable for you guys and you can do well. Though I feel the new pattern would have less options. Okay, paper was definitely overall difficult, and I'm saying 100 to 105. It might go lower as well. Okay, so that's my prediction. 105 is I think the tops that can go for JRF. Okay, so if you did the paper well, if you're scoring 110, 115, you have a bright chance. Okay, right? So yeah, that's it. I hope you found this review useful, and I think if you're scoring 115, 110 after the official answer key is released, I think you might just be able to qualify your JRF, right? So I feel it won't go beyond 105. That's my personal prediction. Let's hope for the best, right? Thank you for